Happy holidays. I am William Jackson, founder of Skillful Means. I wanted to offer you a story, a reminder amongst the busyness of the holidays to come back to your natural self and allow yourself the space to feel however you're feeling and to let go of any struggle to find some ease and contentment. As a young monk of 27 on meditation retreat, I was quite proud of myself. I felt special because I was doing something very different from other people my age. I was studying an ancient tradition and having magical experiences. However, to those who had been practicing for years, I initially looked a bit foolish. I remember a few months into one of my first retreats, strolling down to Pindapata, which is where you beg for food, with my bright orange robe. I'd been meditating ardently for a few months and was feeling quite proud. As a young monk, a visiting monk, I was allowed to cut the line and as a result walked in front of the locals and even the elder monks, some of whom had been practicing meditating for 50 plus years in the tradition I was just learning. I remember marching by them and flashing them a big proud smile that was returned with a stone-faced indifference. And I felt sheepish that they didn't respond. Did I do something wrong? Later that week, I sat in meditation in the scenic and serene Dharma hall with tropical birds swooping and lizards calling and a view over the verdant valley. And I was totally depressed. And I realized that I'd been fighting this familiar feeling on and off my whole life. I recognized it as an enemy. It was a flaw. Something to be fixed, exterminated. I realized that this was my response to my body and my mind. And for the first time, I decided to respond differently. To let myself be as I was. To let myself have my feelings. I didn't try to stop them, and I didn't wallow, I didn't judge. I allowed them with an open curiosity. I allowed myself to feel depressed, to feel sad and unmotivated. And I kept on with my meditation, observing. And as a result, I felt a tremendous relief. I had struggled with these feelings for so long, trying to bottle them up or get rid of them, and I felt like I'd been treading water for my whole life, afraid that I would drown in the feeling. And when I finally gave up the struggle, I realized that the earth was right under my feet the whole time. I was treading in shallow water. And as my feet felt the metaphorical solid earth, I felt a great sense of contentment and release. For the next few weeks, I made it my goal to allow however I was feeling and not to present in any particular way. I was choosing the contentment of letting go of the struggle to be someone and instead welcoming my natural self. But I also had to be vigilant in the same way that one can lose the sensation of the breath and get distracted in sitting meditation. I found myself pushing away or covering up or presenting a personality and justifying it with all sorts of good reasons just to feel worn out and stressed later. But then the natural self started to feel more steady and solid. And I had a pervading sense of contentment and confidence, and I was really beginning to feel comfortable in my own skin. One day during this practice, I again went for Pindapata, and in the same way walked past the locals and the elder monks who had returned my smile with indifference. And I realized I'd previously smiled to impress them, to boast and to present as happy and confident. This time I realized I don't care. If they see me as depressed or sad, I was content being my natural self. And I continued to focus on being who I was in that moment. And solid in that, I glanced toward the elders standing in the line to see a row of knowing smiles. It was like they were letting me know I was on the right track. If you are interested in learning more about cultivating this state of mind, you can email me directly at william@skillfulmeans.life or visit my website, skillfulmeans.life, and join one of my in-person courses or my online course coming up in February. Or set up an individual appointment to meet with me and start cultivating contentment from the inside out.